not blaming Casemiro. I'm just talking about Casemiro's ability to be able to spread himself across the pitch. Now, because you've got Mount coming back so much, I'm disappointed because Onana adding that number should automatically mean we can overflood the midfield when we need to, and we just have not done it.
Yeah.
Go on, Barry. You carry on. Sorry, you finished what you were explaining. Then
piggyback off of what Jimmy said before you respond, Jarvis, is like if you saw the Wolves game in the first half, Onana pinged the ball to Garnacho 2 or 3 times, and then he was like, "Oh, we're not. You change a tactic because you can't keep repeating the same thing if it's not working out." And we just as a team, for me, as a fan, I haven't seen the team figuring out how to maximize and utilize Onana's strengths to the maximum, because that pass that we did versus Spurs, that's a Pogba-esque type of switch of play that we hadn't seen.
Oh, yeah.
That's a false type of switch of play. Like Eriksen can distribute the ball, but Onana fizzed that ball to Garnacho. In this is now the game versus Spurs, match day 2, and this is a skill that, like, come on, guys. What for me, it's like I'm always asking this question: is like, when are we gonna see an attacking pattern?
But they're almost forcing Onana to push back. Like he's starting to. At times, it looked like David De Gea. I'm not saying
he was gonna be a comment, David De Gea.
Because these guys are not. Then he's saying, "Look, guys, I'm here. You guys go. I'm walking. I'm here." But they're stuck. They seem to be stuck in this line. And then Onana's thinking, well, if you guys are going to stand there, I have to see the ball, so I need to move back. So they're almost pinning him back. So the way we are playing from midfield, we're forcing the keeper to push back more than he likes to. Now, you're going to see Onana getting into that habit now. And now, we've turned Onana into David De Gea all over again.
And then he becomes rusty and all that. The only thing that can be a little green silver lining. Sorry, I nearly said silver lining is the fact that Haaland is another fast player. So Onana will have more than one target in terms of players that you can ping a ball to that have good acceleration. A fit Rasmus Haaland is faster than all our other attackers, barring Rashford. So for sure that at least we're going to try and exploit this long ball trait that Onana has.
Very good point. Yeah.
Yeah, my thinking of why did Ten Hag change his tactics from last season to this season. One of the things I can see is that he don't need Eriksen to drop back and be the quarterback in a way, because he have Onana now who can ping those balls. So we're thinking, okay, I can put an extra man into the attack, and maybe that's why he plays with Mason Mount and have 2 number 8s / number 10. What's your thoughts about that,
Jimmy?
Sorry, say that again. Sorry, I keep getting notifications. It's not even anything. There's nothing. Yeah. It's just same stories that have come out 20 times today. It's like, it's boring now.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, when you compare last season to this season with Ten Hag, he uses Onana as the quarterback, not Eriksen, in a way. So that's why he can move Eriksen. That's Mason Mount this season up as a number 8, number 10.
This is where I think, and I was having this conversation with my cousin this morning, that if Eriksen plays his cards right, he could play Mount out of the team. Now, I'm not saying that's the system I would go with, personally, but if Eriksen can prove to be productive in this left-hand side pocket where he is the first point of support for Onana, and they build that relationship, because I think Eriksen's more capable of building that relationship than Mount is, simply because of they play 2 different ways. If he can exploit that availability of Onana, he could end up being the one that gets picked over Mount. If it works. Now, that's not my preference. Like I said, I still think that this midfield is fine. It just needs we need tweaking in how we're starting to build up from the back. because I think this midfield is fine. It would work absolutely fine. I don't see why it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I think it's there
I see why it doesn't work, because I think we have a problem. You see in the center, we have Fernandes, we have Mason Mount, we have Rashford. None of them are press resistive. So we lose the ball too easily when we are trying to build up. So we're getting hurt.
But that's where Amrabat would be useful, because he's very press resistant. I think that's one of his stronger qualities, is that he's extremely press resistant. This is a player who can build a very good shell around himself, and no one can get the ball off him at all. So, you know, these are the type of players that you need. If you look at all the top teams, have got one. You know, Arsenal have got Partey. I know he didn't play every game last season, but they've got Partey, and now they've got Rice, who's also press resistant. So you're looking at a midfield that's going to be very effective, especially in those moments where the press is so effective against them that they have to recycle. They haven't got a choice but to recycle the ball. You've got two midfielders that can do it. Those are the teams that challenge for the title.
Can I say something? I spotted, like, you know, Arsenal today, how their midfield is operating when they are pressing. They're hunting like a pack. They're just basically closing down all the spaces. And they're actually quite good at that. But we don't have the personnel to do that. And I believe that the solution here needs to go to the recruitment market in terms of getting an Amrabat and the Gravenberch there. Because if you're playing Bruno and Fernandes, if you're going to play the, you know, attacking six, that is meant to be a pressing high line and retain the ball and win the ball high up in the pitch again, right? Currently, that's not working, and currently it's not working to have a sitting CDM in terms of Casemiro that hasn't really found the form as of yet. So I can see the solution, because we are here looking at, okay, last season we played what you said, like the 4-3-2-1, right? This is what the players are used to. This is kind of a little bit of a change because, you have a Onana. It's a new style of play. I don't think that the players kind of have adopted to his style of play, and you know, they're a little bit surprised at getting that fast ball to the feet. And, you know, I was just applauding for his distribution last time when he found Garnacho. He could have almost scored on the first touch, but he didn't, right? So I don't panic, but I just see a solution when you draw up the patterns here. Like, you know, what else do you see, Jarvis, that can solve the problem? Is that a personnel issue, or is it, you know, just an adaptation period, or?
Yeah, when it comes to Ten Hag, you saw the first 35 minutes against Spurs. We were pressing really good. We had man marking. We stopped Spurs playing out from the back almost every attack.
You see this comment from Cooper, and he says, "Dear stream, let's check Mount. I think Chelsea sold us his twin brother."
Oh, that what is it? That is the best they've ever sold a twin brother. Freemason. Freemason.
We need to do a birth certificate check on Mason.
Yeah.
We need to confirm. It's my man that we saw. The my man that we saw doing all those techers.
What are his birthmarks? We want the real.
Yeah, we need to know what birthmarks he was born with. We need to know all these things so we can check this.
Yeah, just let's not forget the people in the VAR room. I'm just going to go with the Tank Sherman and say we are not very good at inconsistent half press. We're easy bypassed when extremely predictable. That is what I see as well, guys. Like, you know, 2 games in a row. At least we stopped it in the first half. We looked a little bit decent against Spurs, but it was
we were better actually in that respect against Spurs, because against Wolves, that, you know, that run that he just walked through, I was honestly, my heart broke. I was, you know, sometimes football makes me angry, because when I'm watching football, I'm screaming, shouting, swearing. I'm the devil when I'm watching football. But you know what? Sometimes, you know, you see your team do something and you just feel so heartbroken. You can't even be angry. You just want to cry. You just like, how? Why are you doing this to me? Why would you allow this to happen to you guys? You guys are professional footballers. I played in midfield. I've never played as a professional footballer, but in all my playing years, I played in midfield. I swear to God, I would never, ever have allowed that to happen. Someone's going down. Someone's going to the ground.
Jarvis, what are we going to do for the next game? what do you see? So you have a couple of
Uh,
slides here. Yeah.
Well, go back to the chat, Mick, because we have some good news from Angie.
Angie, what does Angie has to say?
She gifted 10 memberships.
Oh, no way. Did she? Big up Angie, the legend of this community, gifted 10 memberships. Woohoo!
And we have
Fantastic.
new
Thank you,
members.
Angie.
It's Box, it's Reber Bakir, it's Alien Tenno, it's Gary Kyle, Milos Mitic is already a member. We have Andy Young, Alex. We have Speakers and Seekers. We have the Ferocious and Mark Brooks, as I see as new
Oh,
member.
Brooksy became a member too.
So
Big up
please
to everyone.
give a big thanks to Angie in the chat. Thank you, Angie.
Yeah, big up, Angie. Thank you so much. You're a darling as per usual. What would we do without you, Angie? Seriously. Yeah, deserves another applause. Come on. Queen Angie is what Jamie Rennie said.
Big up, Angie. Big up.
Yeah, so let's.
I just want to move on, and when it comes to the game against Spurs, I think we were really good the first 35 minutes. We were pressing high, we were locking off Spurs when they were trying to build up. We were man marking them. We had legs. We were following their players everywhere, and we won the ball several times high up the pitch, and we had good chances because of that. But we couldn't conceive the ball, nor score any goals. But suddenly it looked like our players was knackered. They were tired, and I'm not sure why. Spurs were running a lot more than us, and I have one episode here from the second half, and it's about how we move our legs going defensively in this situation. So I go with the first slide here, and you see here Spurs is attacking on the right side, and I have a red ring around two players. That's Bruno Fernandes and it's Ben Davies. He was subbed in as left back for Spurs. And you see, we are in a okay formation. It's Garnacho who is pressing the Spurs player on the ball, and Fernandes and Rashford is covering him.
Yeah, good starting position. I think that's all right. But
you see the ball in the middle of the picture. Mm-hmm. Because the pass went through. The Spurs striker, I think it's Son. He gets the ball and lays it back to Maddison, who's the Spurs player in behind, and he shifted over to the left. But you see in the red ring, there's Ben Davies again and Bruno Fernandes. You see we have four defenders. We have Eriksen coming in and pressing the ball, and Varane is pressing the ball. So far, so good. But this is the next picture. If you see the red ring, you see Ben Davies. Where is Bruno?
Yeah.
Where is Bruno?
He's been stagnant this whole time. The picture's been changing, and he's been the one who's not changing.
You see that's a bad sign. What you've just said there, where if you take, this is I remember back in the day, right? My coach at the time, and this is a long time ago. This is a long time ago. And he used to always say, when he's watching us play, he used to say, if I look once and you're there, and then I look again and you're still there, and if I look for the third time and you're still there, that's a big problem for me. He used to say, if I look at you 3 times, you better make sure you've moved somewhere else. It was his thing. And that was only really to say, football is a mobile game. You can't stay there and and not go anywhere. You have to. There's something happening somewhere. So why are you still in the same place? There's no way that nothing has happened for the last 2 minutes. You have to be somewhere else.
I agree, Jimmy. But if you see that picture, you see Varane. He was pressing Son because he was meeting the ball on the pass. So Varane is out of the position. He's not in the back four anymore. There's a back three.
He's in the middle. Yeah.
He's in the middle,
And Bruno is watching. The ball is going over Bruno's head and up to the wing, and Ben Davies is just running. We have Dalot, who is our right back. He's chasing down the winger now, and Martinez, he's alone. And Bruno is just watching.
So can you, Jarvis, are you able to quickly go back to the first slide again, and then the second one, and then just this one, just to catch us up on Bruno?
This is the first slide. Bruno is standing with Ben Davies.
Yeah, Ben Davies. Yeah. Wow.
And you see the next, there he starts.
But Ben Davies has started peeling off there in that second one.
Yeah. And you see there, Varane is pushing, and Bruno is watching it. He sees what's going on, but he don't catch it. And now we have the third picture.
You see,
Bruno
Ben Davies
is behind, and Varane is out of position.
Bruno's not gone anywhere. This is what I'm saying. So there, I mean, you know that. So when you're, I mean, we all know this. This football hasn't changed in this respect. It's been the same since the beginning of time. If I have a player with me, unless I tell someone else to cover, so I can go somewhere else so they can cover this player, that player is my player. I cannot allow them to get away from me. That's my job. This is now my player. Unless that player completely goes outside of my zone, then I communicate with someone else to say, can you cover this? Because now there's someone else in my zone, so I need to cover this. So that is just basic football principles.
Yes.
So if Bruno doesn't think he wants to chase him because he wants to, I know he wants to cover that box there. If you see that open box there, because he knows he can't catch up with the through ball that's going to go over his head. So his thinking is, right, let me cover this box here to the left-hand side, top left-hand side of the screen. If you see that space, because he's thinking of, if Ben Davies gets to the ball but he doesn't make the cross, he's going to have to play it back into this area. So he's thinking, I need to cover that area. So it's not it's not the wrong thing to do. It's just the wrong time to do it.
Yeah, but it doesn't read the situation because of Varane. That's my thing.
But in this instant, then you sort of get Varane out of the position. Bruno is ball watching, like you know. We played the game, like, you know, as a kid, you used to just stand static and ball watch, like, you know, and that's classical. You got to follow the play. You know, he doesn't track his man there, and that is all of a sudden you have two out of position, open space there, open, like, you know, you're dragging everyone out of position. So I see what you're trying to do there. But is it all the time, or is it just in the beginning of the season right now that are a little bit complacent?
No, but I think you'll always get, you know, when players that play like Bruno, and I know people are going to kill me because they say, oh, you're Bruno Defense League. Yeah, I know I'm BDL, but I only defend Bruno when I can defend him, because for me, Bruno is, you're always going to have these moments with Bruno. That's never going to change. So for me, the thing with Bruno is, and now that he's captain, he's going to have to adjust the way that his mentality works, because his mentality is the right mentality. Because right now, what Bruno's thinking, he's thinking if he counts man for man, that the defenders should be able to handle this with Onana coming out a little bit, right? They should be able to defend this. They should be fine. So Bruno's thinking, he's already thinking about the transition. I'm not trying to defend him here.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that Bruno is, his reservations to get to the ball is not because he's lazy. It's because in Bruno's mind, he's thinking about the transition the other way already. That's what he's thinking.
I agree, Uncle Jimmy. But, you know, for me, people talk about playing Bruno in the six. And I this is what I'm saying about Bruno. My critique of Bruno is he's not disciplined enough to see these situations. He don't catch them quick enough. When you have good defensive midfielders or box-to-box midfielders, they usually catch this really fast. And we can go to slide 4. Now you see Bruno in the right. He has lost Ben Davies completely. He has no way of recovering. And the ball is out on the left for Spurs. Dalot is trying to push out. He doesn't watch his back. Martinez, he has one man behind him and one man in front of him. And Luke Shaw is just holding the line. So now we have a problem. And the next picture, the ball comes in. Ben Davies gets the ball and scores. But if you see in the right corner, there's a red ring. Who's that?
Casa.
Yes, sir. Casemiro. Where is Casemiro? Because
this is
on
one of
vacation.
those moments that I know. This is one of the few moments that I clearly notice, because sometimes when I'm watching football, I just watch it with emotion. I don't see these little things that, you know, you guys are able to see. I'm just not always there, because sometimes I just find out so much when I'm watching a match. I just don't I'm not paying enough attention to any detail of the match. I just want them to make it work. So, but these moments here with Casemiro had so many of these moments in both games. In both
it's
games.
not simply that they, we under no shape or form are we here to call players out, right? But we just see the patterns that can be improved. That's the purpose of this chat.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I can see the chat is people going like, "Oh, stat pattern, Bruno is crap" and stuff like that. It's not on the shape or form that we are critiquing. It's what we're saying at this moment they are not sharp enough and they're not following the play, and they're ball watching. What I can see, even Casemiro as well.
It's not
wouldn't
only
surprise
Bruno,
me if McTominay gets ahead of Casemiro next game, just as a surprise. That like if Ten Hag really, because all these things that these analysis depend on really what the tactical team at Carrington really think. Who's the most culpable? Who's the biggest culprit in this situation, and who's the recurring culprit from the previous game and this game, and even the moments that even the other team didn't score. So if it all fingers seem to point at Casemiro, we might even see a surprise Scott McTominay in there when we're thinking that the changes might be.
I really, really hope not. You know the way that
I hope not too.
You know the way that these other teams have reshaped their midfields. I cannot think of a single midfield in the Premier League now that Scott McTominay would come out on top against if he's playing in that position. And that's no knock. I've defended Scott McTominay so much. I've held whole spaces defending Scott McTominay because he's been slated too much. Because I think the boy's got heart. He's got everything else that it takes to make it a Manchester United. Apart from, unfortunately, the ability. He just hasn't got the ability for it, and that's no knock on him, his efforts, or he's an amazing lad.
But what is that, Jimmy, that most coaches and managers see in Scott McTominay that I cannot see? I cannot see what his best attributes and position is. I know he's
determination. He's got that determination because if you think about it, though, Scott McTominay has had games where he's been the most important player on the pitch for us. Don't forget, and also don't. It's very difficult to get midfielders that are more defensively minded, which is what we see Scott McTominay as. But they can score a goal from 20 yards. It's very difficult to find those midfielders. So a lot of times that we play Scott McTominay because it's like a hoping game. If he gets one of those moments, we could nick a goal. Because no one expects him to be in those positions to have a shot, so he's always open to take the shots. That's why he was encouraged to take shots from anywhere with Mourinho.
Oi! Ed Woodward is in the house saying McTominay is a ball carrier midfielder.
Big up to you, Ed.
Who is this person, man?
Box to box.
Man said Scott McPurlo in that, innit? Scott McPurlo.
But he gets caught out. He's called McTominay FC.
He's absolutely his best attributes is going forward. He's the most lethal outside the 6-yard box, drifting, but he ain't a CDM or he's more of an attacking midfielder, according to my opinion, right? But we never seem to play people in the right position. We always seem to play people in the wrong positions, right? And so instead of just why play Rashford in the number 9, obviously because we don't have anyone that could play the role, until this young kid comes in, and that is a big task and a burden on a 20-year-old. Hopefully he can carry it, right? We have a Martial that's hopefully can stay fit, but I caught that this new system, he ain't ready for the players as of yet, because we don't have the personnel that can play it. So why not, as a solution, revert back to the old, the 3-2, what would it be, 4-3-2-1?
Yeah, 4-3-2-1.
For now, and start, just get the points out. And then when you have everyone fit and firing, when you have an Amrabat in, when you have a Gravenberch in, and when you get rid of everything, then you can look at to switch out to play that system, to play out from the back.
Ed
Obviously
Woodward
that
says free Martial.
Martial. Ed Woodward, free Martial.
Yeah, Ed Woodward's taking a piss. Man.
Okay. Big up. I love it. It's definitely the system what Woodward is saying. He's the masterclass of that system, how he constructed the Glazers to rob us blind, honest to God. But that's the way I see it, Jarvis. Maybe you see it differently, but I caught it. I know what he wants to do, but he ain't working because both Bruno and Mason Mount are not really like, they're ball watchers as well. They're more attacking. And people there, you speak to Blues fans, they say, I don't understand why you're playing Mason Mount as a more defensive style. His best attribute is going forward to be the shitster in the in the front line. And I agree. I agree.
Yeah, but
So
I explained it, Mick, in the beginning when I showed the formation.
Yeah.
Ten Hag thinks that Onana can do the quarterback role. So we just need 2 center backs and Onana, and he can push up everybody else. So, but the problem now is how, it's the distance between the defense, the midfield, and the attack. The distance is too big. So every time we lose the ball, we run after it.
But it's based on 3 phases. I mean, we're talking about transitions. It's supposed to start from Onana, transition the ball to the defenders, to the midfield, and to the attack, or ping a ball to to the feet of Garnacho, what we saw the other day, But I keep saying that I don't think that it's an embedded period. I think people are still used to see David De Gea between the sticks, and that's been embedded, right? With the fullbacks. It's hard to change to something new, and because back in your mind you still have that program, right? I saw it clearly against the Wolves, because I saw Luke Shaw was still going towards the byline and protecting Onana. Well, he didn't have to, you know what I mean? I saw that Casemiro was left, especially with Bruno and both Mount being high up. There became this donut hole where Casemiro was the only sitting center defender, and that kind of also exposed Luke Shaw and Martinez leading, that they both received yellow cards because they had to, right? They took it for the team. So that's why I'm saying tread with a little bit of a cautious. Maybe it's too early, maybe it's too early to go full on. I don't think we had the time to practice the new system, and maybe it's not the time, because right now the way I see it is to rack up as many points as possible. It ain't so bad start. Yeah. Yep. It ain't so bad start what people think about, because last season we also had a bad start, but we lost the first 2 games. Now, the thing is that, okay, we lose 1 game, it hurts. I get really pissed off, 100%. But the next thing, I don't think that we're going to have such a bad performance in Old Trafford. I think that we will bounce back, to be honest. And I do expect to see maybe an introduction of Rasmus Højlund to sit on the bench on Saturday. And I think they're going to do that just to calm down the crowd and the hostility. I don't know what you guys are thinking. But what is the solution? Who should we clearly cannot start with the same team. Or do you think it will be stubborn to do that again?
I can see him starting the same team, to be honest. And I think more so because
we don't have anyone else to trust to play.
Well, yeah, I can't see who else he would think would do a better job than those guys. That's the
clearly he didn't trust Scott McTominay at all. He didn't put him out. He was on the bench. Is it that he's looking to sell him 100% and he doesn't want to have him injured?
Yeah, I think he would rather get rid of Scott McTominay, I think. But obviously on the proviso that we get Amrabat or or Onana, whichever direction he chooses to go. But I can't see why he would want to keep Scott McTominay, because I just don't think he's going to use him enough. Because Scott McTominay, when Scott McTominay comes on, it means that Ten Hag has decided to change completely tactically. So for me, I've never seen him bring Scott McTominay in to try and do the job that he thinks, a Bruno or a Mason Mount would do. It's just not. I don't think he sees him that way. So I think he's going to have to sell. He's going to have to sell him, and he knows that. But it's only if
I think losing Kobe Mainoo was also a big blow. I know he's an massive blow, because he was part of the plan. And that comes again to my point with the PR tour and playing on AstroTurf is really, really hard for your joints and knees, right? So the reason, I mean, he was not the only one that was injured in US and AstroTurf. There were several players that got injuries in the preseason. So I don't know. I don't insist us to go any further than just go on a training camp in Europe. But on the other hand, I do respect that the club is sort of going to Asia or to America to let you guys.
I don't see why they do it. I just, you know, I know they have to do it, you know, but for the team, they're out there too long. They're traveling and they're doing all this stuff, and then when they're there, it's just more the PR stuff. It's not really the football. It's not really the main focus. Sometimes, I just wish it was. They go away, they play 1 or 2 games in 2 or 3 days, and then they come back, and then they just play friendlies with European teams. I'm sorry, for me, that's the best way to go about it. If you want to,
Yeah.
I just don't agree with their whole schedule of preseason. It's too much. It's too much for me.
There's other people that feel, you know, like, yeah, maybe, you know, it's a bit of an excuse, but like I think like Jarvis, you shared this article with me that just, you know, showed like a global view of all the how Man United spent that preseason, and we spent 50 hours traveling, about 50 hours also waiting, you know, and there's also just like the fatigue that comes with that, and the body does not recover.
Takes it out of you. When I fly, I'm from Malawi. I go to Malawi every year.
Yeah.
When I fly back, the flight is 10, 11 hours. And honestly, when I get back, it takes me 4 or 5 days to recover. You
know, and to be like, to even your balance, even just like honestly, your connection,
everything is just a little bit off. You know, 4 or 5 days.
So that has had a bearing. I'm sure it has had an impact on at least our first game, and you know, maybe some parts of the second game as well. But at the end of the day, as Mick said earlier on, when you look at it, we're a little bit ahead of where we were last season this time. So we could still end up having a better season than we had last time. And we're frustrated because obviously Spurs were there for the taking. They're the team that's still transitioning from fossil football, and we couldn't force them into errors enough. You know, when they're trying to build up from the back, our press was horrible, Jimmy. Our press was like didn't have any bite, and parts of it is connected to what the lethargic nature of like what the guy in the red circle that Jarvis drew. That's part of him. Part of it is that he's like, is he the pressing trigger? And it doesn't seem like our presses are actually effective. They were just pressing for pressing's sake, you know. And yeah, go ahead, Mick.
I was watching Arsenal today, and I kept saying that if you do too many changes, Arsenal didn't look like the same Arsenal of last season because of a couple of changes. They added Kovacic in, they added Declan Rice in, and all of a sudden it didn't look the same. You know, I don't think they look as sharp. And the same thing with us. We done some tweaks, and it takes time.
Havertz.
Yeah, and Havertz as well. And it takes time until the new cogs or the spare parts fits within the engine and all greased up and all glued up, I think. So that's what I'm saying. It's not about panic. I know the form will come. And I'm just comparing to last season, how we started. And yeah, we got 3 points. Yeah, we were kind of okay. We were kind of having more shots on targets in the first half of Spurs. It was just a bad deflection. And as soon as that ball went in, the whole morale of the team went down, like, you know, went deflated. It went back to the default. I don't know why it is so, or, you know, that clearly needs to go out. I think that Rashford should need to have a little bit break. I mean, to get his aggressiveness and hungriness back again. Never play him as number 9. I think he deserves to play on his natural position. I just go back to the way Ten Hag used to do, like to take them out of the team and get the hunger back in, you know, put you back in when you're ready, right? So I'm just here to understand what is the solution, gentlemen and ladies in the VR room, and, you know, where do we see us going from here? Like, you know, are we consistent? Are we going to be, if you were Ten Hag, what would you do right now? Would you consistently playing this new system until players get it?
I would, for me, one of the main things that, as I mentioned before, is I need, the players to understand why Onana has been brought into the team. They need to understand why Ten Hag went all out and had arguments with different senior figures at the club, because they actually thought that they should have gone a different way. And he's fought for Onana because he wants this keeper that can play the way that Onana plays. But if the players don't understand those reasons, it's completely pointless. It doesn't improve the team at all. So they need to understand that Onana was brought in to it's very straightforward, to push the line up. That's the main reason why he was brought in. And if they keep restricting him from doing that, because the deeper they drop, the deeper Onana has to drop and stay there.
Good point.
Keepers like to create that distance so they can see where the ball's coming from. Keepers
but then
don't
you have
like their defenders being too close to them. They want their defenders a bit further away so they can have a clearer picture of the pitch. And all the players need to understand that that's the reason why he was brought in. If it starts there, everything else is going to be fine. But also, I think you find that we're probably not going to improve a lot until Haaland's actually in the team.
Yeah, that is the missing cog as well, what I'm thinking. But in a way, if you're then being logical to understand that Onana hasn't been in for that long. No, is it 3 weeks since he started? Is it? Yeah. So we're still in an embedded period to understand, to play that system. And therefore, I'm feeling more positive to thinking that, yeah, they will come, right? It has to come. You cannot go a whole season like fumbling like this. For me, it's as simple like, hey, if I get a new team members in my work colleagues, it take me some time to get to know the working style, like, and I can play accordingly, right? That's normal, right? That's the way I see it as well. Listen, what people are saying here, like, we have a super chat coming in right from an uppercut from Ryan, donating $5 almost from the USA. Big up, guys. Simply, these players aren't good enough, and let coach downtime, time and time, weak mentality away from home. No one can save this team. I can see what you're trying to say, because simply the weak mentality was we had a horrible away form last season, and that was my wish against Spurs, that we actually collect those 3 points so we get over that, bogey. You know what I mean? But big up, Ryan. Like, I don't know what to answer. Anyone can answer this question, because I hope I can only see improvements, and that's what we're here to discuss as a community, like, moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Javis. Actually, you haven't chimed in a minute. Go ahead.
No. I'm just saying that Ryan has a point. We have problems with personnel because our tactics. Yeah, okay. I think Ten Hag is struggling because he wants to do things, but the players can't follow his orders in a way because they don't have the skills or the attributes to play his way. But weak mentality, yeah, but we are trying to get rid of the the usual suspects. Maguire is leaving and some of those other players, but that's still, we lost 7-0 against Liverpool and 6-3, and we had heavy defeats last season. So yeah, you have a point, but it's a process. Last season was stage 1. This season is stage 2.
Yeah.
Let's wait and see and give Ten Hag time. I won't say that we are not. Every player are not good enough. We have some good players.
Yeah, you can see someone said, Stephanie just said now, the same 3 players turned up for both matches: AWB, Onana, Varane. And this, but these are examples of players that they can bring, because football, you can chop it down to basics, and these players have the ability to chop things down to basics, and that's why AWB is improving so much, because the manager spoke to him and he has broken his game down to complete basics, and he's trying to get the basics right. And if the team are playing well enough, he can then do those extra bits on top of the basics. So football is down to basics.
I will just add on to Ryan here too, because when you come down to people that are willing and listening and willing to improve, that you mentioned a very good example. But for me, if I look at the transfer market right now, so I understand what he's trying to do, basically trying to get rid of the people that don't listen to him, that doesn't follow his rules and principles. And I'm talking about Harry Maguire, because I've seen so many players being sent off, come back, put on the bench, and come back and become better players. But I haven't seen Harry Maguire ever since Ten Hag came in. I haven't seen one single improvement, other than your ego to say that I'm better than everyone else. I don't need to improve myself. We saw that he had a personal trainer training Rocky Balboa. I think he can get back in, but I haven't seen an improvement. So what I'm seeing right now is that, yes, we don't have the right personnel to play, but I think that's been part of his recruitment strategy. So he got the first Onana in, then he got Haaland in, then he got Mason Mount. He's not done yet. In order to move forward, then he has to get rid of these toxic players that don't fit the system. Simple as that, right? That's why he sit down with people, came back from the holidays. He sit down with people to discuss, you're not part of my plan. He told his agents, Scott McTominay, you're free to go. He told the players that don't want to fit his plan, because they said, I'm not going to play you. Yeah. I want you to go and find another club so I can recruit the players that fit the way that I want to play. And this is the way I see it, right? So at the moment, in this system what he's trying to play now with 6 on front, clearly he's just working with the players that kind of resembles what he wants, but it's not there yet, right? So 10 days left of the transfer window. Can we get a Gravenberch in? Yes, we probably can. Can we get a Amrabat in? Yes, we can. If we get those players in, and also we get like a fit Martial, we also get a integrate.
I mean, right now, my God, I would take a fit Martial.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to say not to panic, because if
I'm not a big fan, but I would take a fit Martial right now.
The thing is that the media has been saying that Haaland is injured is absolutely not true, because Haaland is not ready to be playing in an ERiktenhag system. I dissect what Ten Hag was saying in the press conferences, and he said, no, he's not up to my rules and principles and to the levels to the rest of the team. So for him, it's kind of like an embedded style. Like, when you start a new job, like, it takes you 3 weeks to get induction and training.
Get your shadowing done.
Shadowing. Orientation. Yeah,
orientation day. And the same thing you saw, he did the same with Casemiro, right? It took him 3 games until he was introduced to the bench and the team. So Ten Hag doesn't just throw them in the lines then straight away. So am I the only one seeing it this way? Or maybe, I don't know. I just see it that way, I'm looking at the solution. I can understand. He's looking at the bench now. This doesn't really fit what I want to do. I want this person now to be sold, and that's it. So I can understand that people are blaming merch and everything else, but it's very fucking hard to sell the players that you didn't buy. There was the Woodward's buy, on inflated wages. So I can understand that people want to point fingers and just slag the manager, slag merch, or slag everyone. But the only one you should actually slagging is the fucking Glazers that allow this to happen. Honest to God, right? We bought players on inflated and gave them inflated salaries just to inflate the overall evaluation of the club. Remember, right? And now you have to now you're struggling to get rid of somebody you bought an average mediocre centre back that nobody really wants. Hell yeah, if you get 30 million for it, just ship him off, right?
This inability for Manchester United to just take the price, just take the money and cut their losses, sort of thing. The fact that they can't do it, it makes me worried about. They must be quite far away from selling the club, and I don't want us to go into a whole Glazers out debate, but they must be quite far away from selling the club, because if they were close to selling the club, these are things that they would want to conclude. Just whatever the cost, just conclude the matters and get rid of these assets that are not going to bring any value anyway, but now they're just contributing to all the issues that are at the club from a football perspective. What is the point? Just get rid of these players. You're selling the club anyway.
Get rid of them. Glazer's ponytail.
Get rid of them. Just get rid of them. Get rid of them. I saw that one. I'd seen that one.
I'm not going to mention it. Come on, you all read it. You know what I mean.
It just worries me. It just really worries. But I just wanted to disagree with one thing that you mentioned about about Haaland. I think he's carrying an injury. I think he's carrying a small injury. It's not what the rival media have tried to spread to say no, he needs an operation here. I'm like, no. I don't think it's anything like that. But I think he's probably carrying an injury because I don't think he's the kind of player that's going to need that long to play for Ten Hag. I think he can play, and I think he can learn in the job.
For what I've scouted, for what I've seen, I think this is a very intelligent player. You know, I think he will be adaptable very quick. I think a lot of people will be surprised because if you look at his trajectory, where he's gone, you know, he played one season in Copenhagen, played one season in Graz. He's been going like this, right? So I don't think like he's got this stamina in like a 6'4" or something, 6'2", 6'3", tall.
He's a unit, man. He's a unit.
He's a unit.
People think he's a small lad. He's not. He's a unit.
He's not.
He's big,
and he's very athletic. So for me, he's very quick.
He can do that. He can do that. And I'm not comparing
so
it to Harry Kane. Don't kill me. But he can do that Harry Kane thing. You know that.
So what I'm trying to say, the system that Ten Hag is building now is including Haaland in that system. That was his first priority, like, you know, over Harry Kane and everything else, according to the interviews. And that's why he's designed it around it. So, yeah, I think when he's ready, you know, I'm sure we're going to be surprised to see another different style of football.
No, guys, comments. We're not hanging our hat on Haaland. We're just saying that him coming into the team will improve the system massively. That's all. That's
what we're saying. Nothing else.
We're not saying he's good. He's not a Van Nistelrooy. We're not saying. You know what I mean?
No, because the way that I see it, if you're playing 6 on front, it's not going to depend on the center forward to score all the goals. No, he's going to link up the play. He's going to do all the other things, free up others to score. Like, you know, you're talking about Rashford to score more, Garnacho, Antony Dos Santos needs to fucking improve his outputs as well. He needs to be more aggressive and take on his player more. Like, you know, not to be this one-trick pony anymore, to cut into the left and do his little trick bender. You know what I mean? So that needs to be changed.
You know what? I don't mind his cutting in. He just does it at the wrong time. For me, it's just his timing is just off. It's off. Like sometimes, I mean, in the Wolves game especially, because I think when you're playing on the wing, for some reason, especially on the right wing, I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way I look at the pitch, but for some reason, I feel like right wingers get more opportunity to cut in than left wingers. Now, that's mainly maybe because for me, when I think of centre halves, I think well, the left centre half seems to always be the quicker one, and the right centre half seems to be the solid one who stays. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if that's just because of how I look at football, but I always think Antony gets so many opportunities to cut in that he doesn't, and then when the opportunity is not good enough, that's when he tries to do it. And I'm like, no, you know, if he had done it 5 seconds before now, you would have had the best chance to whip this cross or to even curl a shot, because he's good at curling his shots. He's amazing at them. But if you're in at the wrong time every time, you won't get those opportunities to curl those shots in.
Jimmy, I agree with you. I actually forgot that Antony hit the post versus Spurs. You know, like, you know, that's probably like a moment where in training 8 out of 10 times it's always a goal.
And we had opportunities. We had opportunities to score. Bruno's header. It was just footballing gods. Listen, Mo Hamza here.
With Rashford and Antony on the wings, I don't see Haaland getting enough service from the wing. Thoughts, Mo? That is, you're like reading what I was about to say, because I was about to be like, when are we going to ever cross to Haaland? Because a cross from the right from Antony's weaker foot is probably not going to happen anytime soon. We've only seen Wan-Bissaka crossing a few times this season, which is what gives me hope. But
he doesn't rely on crosses too much.
You know, but the other thing with Antony is like he reminds me of, you know, somebody who's got so many type of different weapons, but he just doesn't know how to use them, because he's got a skill. He can beat a defender. Sometimes he doesn't even know he's beat the defender, and then he starts going back. You're like, you dribbled him. That was a successful dribble.
I know.
You have to convert it into an attacking chance for your teammates. and it's almost like it ends up being like he's dribbling to embarrass an opponent when, it's just the intelligence that is not yet there yet
He
at
is
this moment.
so fucking gifted and he doesn't use it. Like, I don't know what's blocking him. That's the thing, right? Well, same thing with Sancho last season. Like, he had the ability, but he didn't have the confidence. Maybe he's afraid to get stick. But all I'm saying is, like, I know there's a player in Dos Santos. All he needs to do is take on his player more often, be more aggressive and direct, right? Don't be too predictable to go to the left. Go right, go left. If you look at Garnacho, for instance, still a young player, but he's a very tricky customer, right? He's very unpredictable because always keeps running on the fullbacks. And there's one thing that the fullbacks hate, and it's somebody that keeps running at them, right? Otherwise, you become very predictable. What's the point of stopping, and going backwards? You're a winger. And the thing is that I'm so used to Manchester United being left dominated for the past couple of years.
Nah, this is the best. That is the best comment. Stephanie's comment is the best comment.
Which one?
Everyone just goes inverted wingers. But all these modern phrases. A 3-1 build, 3-2. Look, just defend, tackle, pass, cross, shoot, score. Simple. Just play football. Just play.
That's it.
It's just do the basics. It's fine. You'll be all right. Look at Wolves. They played the most basic football you will ever watch in your life, but they outplayed us because they were just efficient. They just did the basics right.
I was watching Palace today. It was also basic footballs. And then you look who is the manager. This guy is almost falling apart. Like, he's going to die on the pitch.
Because he's just telling them to play basic football.
That's it.
None of this. Look, everyone wants to use these fancy phrases for football. Hey, listen, inverted or not inverted, if you're shit, you're shit. If you're not playing well, you're not playing well, my friend. I don't care who's telling you to invert that. If you are tonight, you are not playing well. I don't care how many times you inverted. I don't care what you change your name to on the night.
Invert to the better version of yourself.
Listen to the evolution. What's next? Inverted referees.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Goodness gracious, man, it winds me up. It's like, no, just play football. Play the game.
The game has become ridiculous. Don't talk to the hand, right? You're not allowed to talk to me. I'm the referee. What the fuck is this? You're not allowed to talk to the referee. How many yellow cards? Talk to the hand.
What are you talking about? And you know what? It was Bruno is the captain. I thought they've told me that they've changed the rules, so only the captain can talk to the ref. Well, if he talks to you, you don't want to talk to him either. So what the hell? What's he supposed to do?
Yeah, well, he got a yellow card for talking to the referee, and he's the captain. He's supposed to have the dialogue.
He's supposed to talk to the ref.
He goes, "What?"
The rest of the team can't shout at the ref. Bruno should be able to shout at the ref because he's the captain. You've told us. You've given all the power to the captain. The rest of the team needs to shut up. What? The rest of the team shut up. Only Bruno went up. And now you're giving him a card. What are you? What are we doing? What is this?
So we're gonna have somebody in the VAR room, by the way, asked about Bruno's demand to the ref. Guys, I want to hear what your take is on it. Like, he asked if the referees are gonna apologize to Man United for that VAR, for that injustice.
He shouldn't have said that. He knows he shouldn't have said that. He knows he shouldn't have said that.
I mean, but is it not what you want from your captain off the pitch?
No, because you know what? For me, my fear is that if once he starts a war with referees, we will lose. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's my
worry. Matt's saying
going at the police.
I'm happy. I'm just keeping respect. Like, keep the swear words down because there's kids watching and everything. And I do understand it, right?
There is.
I do understand that you want only one person to speak to you, but I don't want the referees to be the star of the game. That's the thing, and it's turning out that way. I mean, honest to God, if I look at that was a goal scoring opportunity. The ball was going in. Actually, was heading towards Garnacho's shot was going towards goal. And clearly you can see the hand is out. So I have a suggestion, guys. Let's just call it like even Steven. Anything within the 6-yard box touches the hand is a penalty. Let's just make it easy. Don't matter if it's a natural position. Just make it clear. A handball is a handball, right? This is the only solution. Like, and instead of saying, no, it was a natural position. Oh, no. Like, what am I supposed to do, right?
But then you could go into an argument that could increase injuries because people will try and put their arms in very unnatural positions to try and avoid giving penalties away. And then you're getting shoulder injuries, you're getting back injuries, because the body can only adjust so much. These players.
Yeah, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
Just to quit all these debates about what is a handball or not. Basically, everything within the 6-yard box, only the goalkeeper can touch with the hand. That was the basic rules of football, wasn't it? Right? So anything that you touch inside the 6-yard box, even if you're like accidental, should be actually ruled as a penalty. That's we get rid of all the inconsistent rules. That's just my way of seeing it, right? Now we have this dilly-dallying and debates and clear and obvious and VAR and watching Pornhub instead of watching the game. Come on, what's going on here? Right, so Ryan, big up for you, super chat, mate. Angie only coached 2 months and made Spurs play better football than us. I can see what style of football we're trying to play. It's confusing me. Angie could have actually lost the game too, guys, to be honest. Like, if you look at the goal opportunities that we have, even Bruno had the header and openly missed. We are not match sharp. That's 100%. I'm sure that what you saw from Spurs is a one-time wonder. Like, I don't think they're going to do well, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel the same. I don't think they're going to play like that against every opponent. I don't think they've got the facilities to keep to consistently play the way they played. They were very, very, very fortunate that we decided to build the way we were building from the back. We were terrible. We were really bad at building play. I mean, we weren't so bad at defensively quite a lot of the times, but when it came to the transition, building up, we were horrific.
Yeah, big up.
Much worse than the Wolves game. So
this is for you, Jarvis. Hang on a second,
lucky.
Jarvis.
We're lucky.
Jarvis, this is for you. You will love this one. Jeff Buss, who cares, saying Haaland doesn't need crosses. He makes things happen by himself.
That's what I was trying to say before. Yeah. I was trying to say that before.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean but Haaland. He don't need crosses. Yeah, but he's in the build-up. But he needs crosses. He's in the build-up. He plays the ball out to the winger, and then the ball comes in front of the goal. We saw it last season with Weghorst all the time, but he wasn't quick enough to come in front of the goal. So that was the biggest problem. But with Haaland, I think will be a whole different thing. So yeah, I'm looking forward.
I think he's exaggerated the point he was trying to make. I think for me, the way I would phrase that is that Haaland doesn't need as many crosses as most strikers need, just because he does a lot of. So his link-up play always leads to his own attack. So if you look at, every time he spins a defender, he's a bit like Harry Kane in that sense that when he spins, he wants to be the one that gets to the end of the ball. And that's not what you get with all strikers, because a lot of strikers, if they're in the second, if they're in kind of the phase away from the final phase of attacking play, once they've spun, they actually rely on the ball going to someone else before it comes to them. But when you get strikers like Haaland and Kane who are quick enough on the spin, they want to be the player that gets the ball right after they've just started the link-up play. Yeah. So it's a very different way of attacking. I think you'll find that Haaland will probably need less crosses than like a Rashford would need if he was playing as a number 9 or other strikers like that. And it's not the ability in terms of speed of the player. It's actually their ability to, once they've spun, their ability to get away from the defender without the defender realizing what's happening. And that takes a very specific skill set that I don't think many strikers possess.
Yeah, guys, I haven't seen a cross in Man United. I don't know what crosses you guys are talking about, because last cross was David Beckham. He's the last person. Or Nani. No, seriously,
Nani was
guys, we had Cavani. We had, how good Cavani is in the air. We had Ronaldo after he just did a big jump in Juventus, and then we never crossed to Ronaldo in the air, or rarely. I just don't. I always see the moments when we crossed are not really well thought out. In the Spurs game, I remember being so stressed out in the watch along when the 2 targets in the box was Christian Eriksen and Jadon Sancho, and we decided to cross a ball. Make that make sense.
Yeah, give me that horn. Wake me up before you go. You too, FR. I agree with you. Let's not to put much pressure on this kid.
I agree with that.
United social media would absolutely crucify, and this is what I hate. I mean, this is this is our fan base. That one day they love you, one day they hate you, and one day they call you trash, and next day they praise you. Like, just there's no consistency.
Yeah, but I thought it was just us. But I've seen it from everyone now.
Everyone,
from all other fan bases. I think it's just football fans in general, to be fair. So I think,
Lucky Singh is saying 100% the Australian officials were really good in the World Cup, in the Women's World Cup. I agree with you. You know, it's just that
old officials,
that like, listen, now then the club has come up with an announcement. That means that we are out with another striker, right? So that opens up the door for another recruit, the way I see it. And we've been mentioning a kid that scored yesterday in Brazil that plays for Santos. And we're talking about Marcos Leonardo, a young striker, 20 years of age. If that opens up the door for Marcos Leonardo, I'm all in for it. He's been linked to us before. He's been linked to us. We did a special scouting report on him. He was supposed to join Roma, but some reason he turned it down. He's not going to Roma anymore. So with the links of Greenwood going away, this kid is kind of like a combination between, let me say, a Martial and a Rashford. Martial and Greenwood in one package. Still young, raw talent. Scores tons of goals. He's only 20 years of age. I know it's young, but what options do we have now? There's no value on the market at the moment.
I don't know much about him, so I can't really comment on him. I've never watched him.
He's going to be.
Watched him. I think I've watched a few clips after I heard his name flying around, but I've never watched him.
This guy is one for the future, but he's going to be. If we snap this kid up right now, I mean, you have a 200 million pound striker in a couple of years' time, 100%. That's the way I see it, right? And that's coming from the grassroots leagues, though. So. How do we move on from here? That's my big question. I mean, we are lacking on. In the back of my mind, I was thinking, well, if Greenwood would have stayed, we'd be okay. We will have that extra striker from the bench. Now that option is gone, and the youth is not good enough. We don't have Will Fish or whatever they named. They're not good enough. Like Hugo, you know what I mean? So where is that coming from then? Does that mean that we are putting all the weights on Højlund's shoulder, which I don't want either? How do you see it? Will it be Martial, who can hardly stay fit? Or do you think that we are in for a surprise for another recruit after this departure of Greenwood?
Nope, not from me. I can't see it. I can't see much business happening. I think we've exhausted. Obviously, I don't think the goalkeeper was a priority for these guys, the recruitment guys. I think they thought that they were going to get De Gea to agree to whatever they wanted him to agree to. I think they thought it was going to be straightforward, and it didn't turn out to be. So they've now had to go out and get a goalkeeper, and I think that's affected maybe some of the other positions that they were happy to consider. But I don't see how we can even maneuver a loan deal for another striker. So that's never going to happen.
Peter, don't stop trolling me, man. Buy Lukaku again. Come on, get out of here. Get out of here, man. Don't get me triggered. I've already been triggered once today. Come on, man. No Lukaku. No, thank you. We just got rid of him. He did a disaster at Chelsea. Did a disaster Inter. Where he's going to end up playing, guys? He's going to Juventus.
Who, Lukaku?
Yeah,
if they accept him.
I think that, but I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can afford to have him. To be honest, I mean, he wants to. He would love to go there because he loves that league, doesn't he? He really enjoys that league. I don't know why. I mean,
listen.
I don't know why. I don't know
this
why.
Marcos
Leonardo he played all the time anyway. He didn't play every game. He didn't start every game.
This Marcos Leonardo is very special. So if we get him, I'll be excited, right? I like this. South American Brazilian. This guy, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know him. I don't know him at all. So I can't
check him out.
I thought you were talking about Santiago Jimenez. That's but Marcos Leonardo will do our duties. We'll check him out. Yeah.
Okay,
he reminds me of Aguero.
I want this Amrabat deal to get done. You need that.
Get Amrabat. And we have another suggestion from Matt here to say, Give Ollie a call and see what he's up to. Hello, Ole. Hvordan går det?
People, I swear, people try to trigger me every day, man.
It's time to close the shop. But anyway, VR room, if you have any suggestions, Jarvis, what do you think?
Get your last questions in, because now I'm gonna present the FPL league for the season, no, for the game week 2.
Oh no, please don't do that.
Quickly through to it. We have here the slide of top 10, and Beard with a Purpose is the leader, and it's Selassie Quist who's the manager. Number 2 is Red Devil with Mateusz Radonski.
Oh, he went one down. Cool.
Yeah. And number 3 is Tora Blue or Pes, Ronny Strömset. And we have Jay Daly in number 5, Dallas Cowboys. And you can see Peace, Love, and Bananas with Jarvis Cocker is number 12. So I'm in the race, but I'm not quite in the race at the moment. And here we see... Oh, I'm just gonna find the next slide I have here. It's this is the team for the leader, Beard with a Purpose, Selassie Quist, and you can see his team. He has Ederson in goal.
That is a team.
Dubian 11, Saliba, Botman, Saka, Almiron, Mitoma, 12 points, Mbuemo 16 points, Salah, Haaland captain. Well, it didn't work out, but at least he had Mbuemo and Watkins. So he had a good round. So Beard with the Purpose is the leader of the league. And for people, now we have 70 teams in our league. So if anyone want to join the league, I'm just gonna put out the league code. It's right here. Oh no, I can't share. I have too many slides. Okay, so it's PPPQR3. No, Mick, help me out.
Write it on the chat. Hold on.
Give me. I'm doing all right.
Guys, if in between, smash the like on the stream if you haven't done so yet. We've been lazy here. But you know what? Everyone's been chilled today. Okay, please, if you don't mind, just smash the like button, because it sure helps the algorithm. Stephanie Griffith saying we have 48 likes, and there's how many of us watching at the moment? Yeah, I think it's about 100 people watching right now.
I have the code.
You have the code.
PPPJU0.
Wait, let me write it down. What is it? Triple P
JU0.
Triple PJU0.
Yes.
It's Poppy, Juju 0.
Jarvis, right? Understand 0.
Big up to all of you guys.
Not all lowercase.
So wait a minute. Who is last then?
Oh, last place.
Did I get up to the doghouse?
Zone.
Am I out the doghouse?
Oh, you don't want to know. Papa, do you know who's last?
It must be me, huh?
Is it Poppy?
Okay, it takes time to scroll down. You know, it's a long way down to the last place.
Oh Lord, you gotta accept cookies. Do not. I don't think we need to announce who's last. Big up to Uncle Beard. Who's number 1? Let's just focus on number 1.
Football Power Hour, Botswanapapi.
I ain't joining this league. If I join, I'm gonna be bottom of the table, so I don't want to join. I ain't joining.
I was last weekend.
I'm just looking now. Now I'm gonna be like fourth from bottom. Now we're not doing.
Oh, I'm 64. I'm in relegation.
I'm Samaladized right now. Don't worry. We go again next week, boys. You know,
I feel Standish is number 58, so the Santos are not doing well.
All right, I'm just learning. This is the first time I played this. I never played it before.
Same. I think I only touched it once and then I forgot about it. But I'm
first time I just did an auto pick team, and there was like the random shit.
Who's this person at the top? Who's Beard?
Uncle Beard. What's his name again? Let's shout him out one more time, Jarvis.
Yeah, I have the slide here. Where is it?
Oh, there it is. All right. Beard with a Purpose. Big up to you, Beard with a Purpose. Shout out to you.
Oh, that is.
How do you do it?
That is a team, man.
That is a team. Yeah, that is a team. Okay, fantastic. Well, we see how we go next weekend, because the deadline is to do your Is it Friday to change the team, right?
Yeah, it's 1 hour before the first game in the next round.
Yeah, everyone has joined the league. Jonathan Liljenberg has joined the team. I can see. Papi, we need to have a private session with the leader as well. Or should we call Sam Allardyce, or because he got to get up. or Sean Dyche.
Oh, we gonna get you, man. Don't worry.
Let's hire Sean Dyche to get us out of the relegation. Guys, I'm absolutely knackered now. So
Yeah,
if
same
you wanna
man. I need to retire. Kids will be up early, man, because they're on holiday, and somehow when they're on holiday, they seem to wake up earlier than.
So in conclusion, we dusted out all the negativity. We spoke about the Greenwood situation. We got it over the line. We looked at the situation with the team, the formation, the fixable, and hopefully we'll have a solution, But at the end of the day, it's down to Erik ten Hag and what he does. But anyway, it's been fun, people. Please.
It's been fun. It's been really good, man. Really good. Really good.
100%. Something unusual. Listen, like the video, like what Matt says, everyone is off to bed. It's late. It's been a long day. It's been very emotional. Thank you, Uncle Jimmy, again for coming in. I hope to see you next Monday again.
Yeah, man.
Papi, thank you for standing in as well. You're always welcome. We will see you very soon again.
Always.
It's been a tough day for everyone.
Now, bless all the listeners as well, man. Bless all the comments.
Make sure you go to follow Football Power Hour as well, to subscribe to his channel as well.
Thank you to Stephanie also for mentioning that in the chat, and let's support each other, guys. Everybody, if you're watching right now, hit the like button. It doesn't matter which channel you're watching on. Hit the like button and subscribe. Big up, guys.
Bless, man. Big up, guys. Good night.
Okay, peace, love, and go banana. But we say right now, peace, love. Thank God we have Onana, right? See you guys. Good night. Bye for now. Bye. Thank you.
That's all, folks.
Thank you so much for stopping by and watching MUFC Realist TV. Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on the socials.